After our special report from a former base of the Aidar battalion that a local human rights watchdog called a secret jail, a man contacted me saying he spent days here as the group's prisoner. In 2014, Nikolai, with 4 of his friends, took part in a peaceful protest against Ukraine's military deployment in Lugansk and was arrested.
When I remember what happened, I start shaking. I wouldn't wish on anyone what we experienced here. We were tied up, completely unarmed. They had machine guns, chains, bats. They threw us in the car and brought us here.
For the interview, we take him back to the place he'd rather forget.
At that time, there was no wire here. They had just settled here and did not have time to do everything the way it is now. It's been 8 years since I've been here. Thank God.
The Aidar Assault Battalion had been Kiev's official people here since 2014, with all the approval to do what they wanted.
Here in this room we were tortured, beaten. One of them was beating us while the other one interrogated us, and there was also a sentry. They hit us hard all over our bodies. We were all covered in bruises, unrecognisable. We were treated like cattle. They broke my arm, the little finger. They interrogated us regarding our views on Russia. They asked if we wanted the Russian world here in Ukraine. They threatened to find and kill our families. Everyone was afraid, especially for their families. Then we were thrown into a cell, a form of refrigerator. We felt like pieces of meat inside. I remember this grid. It was exactly above us. The window was covered. It was always dark, like in a punishment cell. You didn't know if it was day or night. They twisted our arms, took us to the basement and locked us in there. I don't know how long we were inside. It was a very long time. It was very cold downstairs. We sat without food and water, with wind freezing us to the bone.
It's so cold now here. Very cold inside.
We were kept here in these long, narrow cellars. There were grids here. We could hear some screams. I can't say how many people were held here.
Nikolai is perhaps one of many. Aidar's possible involvement in illegal arrests, abduction and even murder was mentioned in reports by the UN, Amnesty International, the OSCE. It was also documented by Kiev that sent them here to rule. And for 8 years, they were judges rather than defendants.
Let the investigation deal with it. I think they will be punished.
But hoping for the best, Nikolai can't rule out the worst. It's not his real name, and he also asked me not to show his face, in fear of vengeance. Vladimir does not hide his identity. He escaped abroad a long time ago and feels safe now. But he hasn't forgotten.
We were brought to the jail with sacks on our heads, and we were made to kneel for several hours in the room with glass wool on the floor. I was in shorts and sandals, for example. They treated us harsh, commands were shouted, and we were hit with rifle butts. And all the while you had no idea what you were guilty of. They just haunted those who sympathised with Russia. One of them would hit you on the head with a hammer and ask his friends whether to finish you or not. On the last day, I was beaten with a bar, and then they joked that they would line us up and cut our heads off. When I went to the police the next day, they highly recommended that I leave town, which I did. Do I want to punish them? I do believe that evil will be punished once.
The new local authorities promise justice will be restored as soon as the war here is over. Marie Fnoshna, RT from the Lugansk Republic.
Instituto, Estratégia global, construindo políticas para um mundo multipolar.